Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, Joyce should be puffing up his chest and be extremely confident about getting in the ring and clipping Anthony Joshua, clipping Jermaine Franklin, clipping Dillian White, and clipping just about every heavyweight out there. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or find a way to lose. Please like, subscribe, consider donating to the channel. Boom, let's jump into it. Listen, man, Joe Joyce is saying he feels Anthony Joshua is ripe for the picking. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think when it comes to Joe Joyce versus Anthony Joshua, and this is any heavyweight, I've always felt that those heavyweights are ripe for the picking if they can't dent this man's chin. You understand? Now, Joyce is a highly ranked world title contender and currently holds an interim belt with the WBO. So that matters. And that's why Joe Joyce, he at some point in time, he's going to get a shot at whoever has that damn WBO title. But it's not going to happen this year. But look, he's about to get an opportunity. With all the heavyweights that we're talking about, let me tell you, we all know about the big three. Wilder, Fury, AJ. But Joe Joyce is a leading contender in the heavyweight division. And I'm going to tell you right now, after those three comes Joe Joyce. There's no one else. There are guys who are great fighters, guys who are on their way. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's no one else. Joe Joyce is right there. And I don't think anyone's going to last the distance with him in a fight if they can't dent his chin. So far, so good for Joe Joyce. But it's only so long you can go where, your face is your defense. You know what I'm saying? But Joyce, just like a lot of people, were unimpressed with Joshua's effort against Jermaine Franklin. But to Joshua's credit, I think we need to recognize that Anthony Joshua was in a position where he just had to get a win. And even I kind of forgot about that, while watching the fight, because I'm expecting to see big, strong, powerful Anthony Joshua, who Robert Garcia, his former trainer, described Joshua as having freakish power, right? So we were expecting to see him get in there and just totally decapitate Jermaine Franklin. But it didn't happen. It went to 12 rounds, and he won by unanimous decision. But if you ask Joe Joyce, he said he'd knock them both out, just going off the performances the other night. And he says Franklin for sure and Joshua is right for the picking. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Anthony Joshua got the job done, and that's the most important thing in boxing. Getting the win, continuing to climb up the ladder, and not reverse. But at the end of the day, now that I've had a couple of days to digest the fight, and even though he was trying to get the win, I just thought he would have came with more firepower. But he did look like he was trying to push for the stoppage later. But after sitting back and reflecting and having an opportunity to look at hear a few sound bites, it looks like Derek James was really trying to rally him on to do a little bit more, man. The uppercut hook and definitely going to the body. And only one time I really saw Anthony Joshua really commit to a body shot. And when he hit Franklin with that hook to the body, Franklin actually went about 4 feet back. So Anthony Joshua has the power, but the single shots just wasn't enough, in my opinion, to stop a guy like Franklin. Had Joshua been able to carefully and intelligently put his combinations together, no doubt he would have ended the fight. But again, first time with Derek James, it takes a couple of fights for the fighter and trainer to kind of mend. And although I was a little disappointed that he didn't get Franklin out of there, I think we'll see some improvements going forward. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm giving you my opinion, I think Joshua, for a guy who's trying to move up the ladder, it'll be going backwards, in my opinion, fighting Joe Joyce. Because, one, Joyce isn't Wilder, Joyce isn't Fury. So that's one thing he's going back. Two, you're trying to get a win. And going into with Joe Joyce is as highly likely that you're going to end up losing and going backwards, which is not what you want, because boxing is a battle of attrition as much as it is speed, intelligence, and power. And when I say attrition, I'm likening that to stamina. And when you just look at AJ and look at Joyce, it doesn't matter who you like. It doesn't matter if you're biased to AJ. If you're a fair person, you're going to say right now, stamina-wise, nobody compares to Joe Joyce. Even the goddamn strawweights don't compare to Joe Joyce when it comes to stamina. Just like they say Joshua has freakish power, Joe Joyce has freakish stamina and a freakish chin, right? So I think Joshua is kind of clamoring at the big fights, and I think Joe Joyce is a big fight for him. But I'm gonna tell you right now, he just needs, in my opinion, to steer away from Joe Joyce right now. Take another kind of easier touch. I wouldn't even be upset if Anthony Joshua fought Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good route to get back to get back or continue on your winning ways, and I think it's kind of step up in competition. And I think Joshua can do the business, man. But I tell you right now, when you look at these rankings, you know, Joshua could end up fighting, because you look where Joshua's ranked. He could end up fighting someone like a Frank Sanchez or someone else, because Anthony Joshua isn't ranked in the top three in some of these these sanctioning bodies. Anthony Joshua had dropped significantly, but it is what it is. Can a guy like Joe Joyce catch up to AJ? Can he overtake him? Can Dillian White catch up to him? Can Dillian White overtake him? I don't know, but one thing I know is they would jump at the opportunity. Joyce for legacy, Dillian White because he wants to get paid. Everything with him is financial, so that's why he wants the big fights. Dillian White don't care about no damn legacy, but the one thing about Dillian White, he'll get in that ring and he'll let his hands go. So I don't care what anybody says about that. That's one thing we can expect from Dillian White. He's not going any other direction, especially with Anthony Joshua. He's going to want to get that knockout because Anthony Joshua embarrassed him. But we'll see. I think all these guys right now are a threat for AJ if AJ continues to fear getting knocked out and continue to fear gassing. That's just bad medicine for you being a boxer and as big, strong, and powerful as Anthony Joshua to fear gassing and fear getting hit. That's just not good. So will he get his mojo back? I don't know. I really don't know. But it would be good to see who the better man is with AJ and Joyce, AJ and Wilder, AJ and Fury. Because I don't think there's necessarily bad blood out there, but there's definitely some history. And I think the fans would get behind any of those fights. But the Joe Joyce fight, I'm going to tell you right now, I just think any fighter getting in there with Joe Joyce, I find it hard to bet against Joe Joyce, so I wouldn't bet at all. The only one that I think would really, like, with me sitting here saying, just from what I know, the only one I would say would probably have the best chance at this time, because Joe Joyce depends on his chin so much, would be Wilder. But if Wilder can't dent that chin, it's over for Joyce. Fury has a good chance. You know, don't get me wrong. Fury should be favored in the fight. Anthony Joshua, I don't know. But Fury and Wilder should be favored. But I'm just telling you, if they can't hurt this man, Joe Joyce, they're in trouble. They are in trouble. All right? So that being said, y'all keep cool. I'm glad to hear Joe Joyce coming out here telling people, look, in a quote, I was always trying to catch up with AJ. Now I've overtaken them. I knocked both of them out with their performances the other night. I definitely forced a stoppage on Franklin, and Joshua was right for the picking. And Joe Joyce should come out here and start talking these things because, let me tell you, he's next up, and he's coming strong. He's coming fast. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. Joe Joyce, the next man up in the heavyweight division. I'm in the breeze.